Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Bold and Bougie. It comes on every Thursday night. This is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WeTV. If you have the All Black streaming app, it comes on the following Monday. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can subscribe to my channel. Welcome aboard. And you can leave your comments below. Whew. There was a lot that happened in this episode. It's a lot of bickering and yang going on. I think this episode, people were able to, if they didn't get it right the first time, they came back around to see if they could resolve things. And I think that that's pretty cool. So we begin where we left off on last week's episode with Crystal really pissed off at Dr. Tamika, I think it is, or Dr. Princess. And she's ready to go. Take my mic off, we go. Shad and Crystal, they're getting in the car. They see Malaysia, said, we're going to go. Your friend, you better get your friend, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Malaysia goes back in and talks to Dr. Princess. She gives, I don't know what I did. I mean, they said I was coming off aggressive, and Malaysia said, you can be aggressive, but it's, I guess, not in the way that they are painting the picture or whatever, but I don't know what I did. Blah, 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 blah. So we get to whatever the next day or whatever. Crystal and Malaysia, they meet up at a boutique. They're shopping or whatever. And Crystal is explaining her side. Malaysia's taking Dr. Princess's side. They didn't get into a conflict and just basically say, Crystal said, well, I won't go out with you anymore if this is how it's going to be. I don't like the way that she was coming at me and the digs that she was taking at me and da-da-da-da-da. I think, Malaysia, I think you should have heard her out a whole lot more. But that happens every time you try to bring someone extra into the circle. That, for whatever reason, I'm not saying that Dr. Tamika wanted more airplay or something, but or camera time, I don't know. However, there's too many opinions for somebody that you just met. You know, like, you don't know me from a can of paint. I don't care even what we're discussing in front of you at this moment. I did think of something later on, because they didn't fix anything. The ladies didn't fix anything, so basically nothing was going on. So they leave there, and I'll skip ahead just to let you know that they did circle around. Malaysia said, after we had our little disagreement, I did actually ponder upon and reflect on what you said and your side of things, and I think I understand a lot better this time. No, Malaysia, I don't know when she took that confessional, but she was like, well, maybe Crystal was thinking about her own self and her own coochie and how she feels about herself. I mean, when you think of somebody, your first impression is that somebody's just loose. Like, who does that? Like, a lot of people can say something about you, ma'am, but it's like, it's a weird perception, and possibly Crystal feels a certain way because of how she's been ridiculed in media over the years. I don't know. So I thought about that too, just to be fair. I'm more Team Crystal on this whole situation, but possibly there's some insecurities there, Crystal, that you can get in check. For the most part, you do handle yourself with these women pretty well. I do understand that some of them like to try you too, and you got to put them in your place. But maybe make sure everything within you is secure, despite the rumors and the lies. If it's not your truth, it's not your truth. And leave it there, I guess. Tamika is going to be hosting a Friendsgiving, and she's inviting the ladies and some other ladies around. She heard about the whole Crystal thing situation, and Tamika just went off in a text to the group. She didn't text Malaysia, she called Malaysia, but just basically like, we got to stop all this little petty drama stuff. I'm not confrontational like that. She can be. But the ladies are like, okay, what are you up here talking to me about? Blah, 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 blah. It's almost like Tamika wants to be the head, and we know that the show is centered around Malaysia. I don't know how that's going to turn out in the future, but we shall see. Gaucher. She meets with her therapist. She really lays it out on the table. I may not like Gaucher within the group as far as how she's handling conflict, because I'm not really understanding the conflict between her and Tamika. And it just looks like you're more of the antagonist than Tamika. I mean, you just may not get along, but it's like, well, what's all this extra rah for, So, she wants a better relationship with her children. She feels like, as a parent, that she's gotten a whole lot more, that the children got a whole lot more than what I got growing up. And I worked hard and all that. She went to prison, had to come back out and reprove herself to society and to her family. And how a lot of parents just think, I did all that I could, or at least know to do. What else do you want? And you just don't have a clue what children need outside of the money you can give them, the expensive clothes, and at least for me, sorry about this. Ugh, I don't have a clue. At least for me, I understand how I can get all the material stuff that I need and still need my parents. And I did not get that a lot. They worked from sun up to sundown. Both mom and dad would work double shifts a lot, and I needed them. I have my own personal traumas that I'll probably make another video at some point to just say, because you neglected us to give us a better life, stuff happened that should not have happened. Gaucher said that she was molested as a child and she was not believed. And in that moment, I did see you, Gaucher. Again, I don't understand the stuff that you have going on with with Tamika and all that, but I saw you in that moment. I get frustrated at parents thinking that they did everything that they were supposed to do as a parent. No, you don't. No. So I was glad that she opened up concerning that. Is there anything else before this? Okay, no. Friendsgiving. All the ladies do show up. Tamika has an announcement, and she just really is just over all this conflict and stuff like that. Like, we need to be better. And people aren't taking too kindly to her because they believe, like, I didn't know I was going to get, not berated, but get this lecture from Auntie. So Malaysia takes over and is trying to talk, and they also talk about Tamika's type of behavior. Tamika will kind of be dismissive. You can be talking and all of a sudden she'll kind of just walk off. Tamika says, sometimes I already at the gist of what you're going to say and I kind of move on. Basically saying, y'all long-winded. Just give me the abbreviated version and we'll be okay. But at the time she got up to go get coasters. They were like, see, this is what we're talking about, blah, 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 blah. I have a question, and this is not to be mean towards Tamika. Could she possibly have ADD? This is not to be mean or nothing, because maybe her attention span isn't that big. And I think that that's fine, So that's just a question I do have in regards to that. So everything is good. Gaucher had a problem when she first came to the door. She had to take off her shoes. She didn't like that. And Tamika didn't have any footies, which is not right. If you don't want people to have on socks, at least let them have on footies. So I could argue with that. After a while, the ladies find out that there's going to be a podcast. And they didn't sign up for that. And Malaysia went on the left. But before she left, Crystal went to the door. They talked, and that's when they got to the resolution. Princess, Crystal, and Gosha, they went someplace else because they were like, I don't really want to stay here for that. That's not what we're here for. Princess said, I wish I would have said bye to her before I left. Blah, 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 blah. And this was the time for Gosha to try to butt in her head and try to say, hey, well, this is another time where you didn't speak up for yourself. Princess is tired of people like trying to portray her as weak. In their own way, they're trying to say, don't be ran over or whatever. And Princess is tired of it, like, don't paint me as that. I'm a boss also. How I choose to handle things is how I handle things. I just wish Princess, I think you got to take some accountability, because it's like, in one breath, you off frustrated, and in the next breath, Oh no, that's not it. Like, something's it. I mean, quit coming to us as if you're frustrated if you're not frustrated. I mean, if you're well at how you're going to speak or not speak, then do it that way. But don't come at us like that, you know? So they leave, and then Tamika sends out another text. Her assistant heard everything, I guess they were saying, and Tamika didn't appreciate it. She didn't like that they were calling it ghetto. We found out later it wasn't about Tamika's event being ghetto. It's about them taking food out. Like, is this ghetto? Should we be doing this? As far as taking the plate home and all that. And Malaysia and Gosha and Goshe and Tamika, they go out to dinner. They hash it out. Goshe did talk about when Tamika said something about after Goshe said, you're going to be living alone in that house, lonely and all that stuff. And then she said, well, I'd rather be living alone. It definitely won't be with no woman. I think it was a dig. However, Goshe, you took a dig first. I don't think that you can be all offended by that. I'm sorry. You took a dig beforehand, and she took a better dig at you. And it does have a side of homophobia. I really do get that, but don't act like anybody's just going to bow down to you. You can say what you want to say about somebody else. I'm sorry. I think for that, you have to take it on the chin. If she has anything else to say about sexuality and stuff like that, okay, then tag her tail. But Tamika said, this is just my moment. I don't want to be with a woman. Yeah, it's nothing. That's what she says. I don't know. I love Tamika. I don't know about you guys, but I do. I don't think that she's the troublemaker that y'all make her out to be, but whatever. They hash things out. Goshe just does not like how you communicate. At least apologize about your delivery of the text that you did make towards us. She apologizes. Everything seems to be well. This episode, this part of the episode at the end, it was good. Malaysia tried to be moderator, and I think she did a good job. I don't think that you handled yourself at first well with Crystal. Like, don't sit up here and be mediator, and you can be able to communicate here, but then you do your stuff towards Crystal. I didn't like that, but still love you, Malaysia. But I'm gonna call you out for how you're acting too. But you guys give me your opinions on what you thought. I don't know about this whole Goshe and Tamika thing. It's weird, and I don't think that it's that deep. And you're too busy trying to tell people to open up. You're opening up to a therapist, but you don't open up to these ladies. So I don't know. I don't know what you're telling these ladies for real. I don't hear it on camera. Anyways, that's all I do have. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please like this video. Also, subscribe and leave your comments below. Until the next one. Peace.